everybody, hope you're doing well. I'll mention this next week, and I mentioned this today. We don't often do a two-part training in these video aspects that I do to your training, but this is worth it. In advanced counseling level, I really want you to be able to learn role play at a level that really pays off for you. So here we are in practicum, and there's lots of things you can do. You got all these lab rats. They're not really lab rats, but these people you can kind of learn your craft with, and role play really helps. So I'm just going to give you in this part what role play is about and the idea behind it and the value of it. And then next time we get together, I'll give you the techniques or kind of the aspects or the elements of a great role play. All right? So what is it? Well, a role play is a technique of taking on a stance or the stance and the mannerisms of another person to gain personal insight and feelings and relational skills. And I'll say this again. It's a technique of taking on the stance, like, is the person hostile, or is the person blamey, or is the person controlling, or is the person disconnected, and the mannerisms, the actual physical mannerisms, how they talk and how they look of another person, to gain insight and feelings and relational skills. So the more you look at that and how you talk about it, the better it gets. And the real value of role play is that the way I like to structure is you have the client be that dysfunctional person, their mom, their dad, their in-laws, their adult kids, their little kids, their boss, the person they're dating or whatever, their spouse. And they do the, whatever, hostile attitude or the controlling attitude or judgmental attitude. And you, the therapist, you become the healthy them. Like, I know this person's driving you crazy and your conversation never wins, so I want you to be him or her in all their dysfunctional glory, and I'll be the healthy you acting this out in the right way. And then what you find out is that, and I'll sometimes just write down, what did you just learn from this? What's the 8 things you learned from this? Gosh, I found out that the way you handled me was, I can stay in there and not blow up, or I don't have to give up my power, or I can change behaviors, or I can get back to the point, I can have more control than I thought, I can ask for what I need, all this cool stuff. How do you know when you need a role play? Well, basically when there's a stuckness in the process. It's just another tool, like there's so many tools based on how to help somebody in psychotherapy. But when affect or insight are not being accessed, so when they can't feel the normal feelings that they need to feel. When somebody's hurt, they need to feel hurt and sad. Or when somebody's attacked, they need to feel mad. Or when somebody's in danger, they need to feel anxious. Or when somebody gets shamed, they're supposed to feel a little shame. And when they can't feel their feelings, the normal context-appropriate feelings that they're supposed to have, there's a stuckness there. And you can try lots of things to unstuck them. You can use insight, you can use confrontation, you can use wisdom of your own experience. This is another tool. This is the art of therapy. This is another tool to help them when affect is stuck. But also when insight is stuck, when they just don't get it that maybe somebody's really shame-based. Well, it's always my fault. The reason they're mad at me is because I've screwed everything up. And that's not an affect issue, it's that they don't really get the picture that everything's not all their fault. Or also, the third, not only when the affect and insight are paralyzed, but when the person has a paralyzed fear of a paralyzing fear of facing a relational conflict. So many people are so conflict avoidant. If I say anything to him or her, it's going to be awful. They're going to blow up. They're going to attack me. And there's catastrophic thinking. You've got to bring that anxiety down outside of the amygdala into the executive functioning prefrontal cortex. So paralyzing fears, I could never say that. Well, yeah, you can say it. They're not, unless they're coming at you with 4 knives and an Uzi and it'll blow you up. I'd probably run from that, but otherwise you could probably talk to them. What I like to do is just call yourself the healthy engager and call them the difficult person. And what you find out a lot of times, it's somebody who is either, like in my book, Who's Pushing Your Buttons, they either blame a lot, or they control the situation, or most of them take very little responsibility. A lot of them will go into a victim role. I'm all bad, I'm the idiot. A lot of them will just or a lot of them will just control the whole dynamic and overrun everything. A lot of them will become passive and not say anything and just look at them. And so whatever this, it's your job as the therapist to kind of figure out what's the dynamic and why nothing ever goes anywhere. And a lot of it's not going to, well, most of us has nothing to do with the dysfunctional person, the difficult person. It has more to do with your client not having the skills or regressing to earlier kind of ways of relating. Frightened child, pleaser, I'll do anything you say, walk away, escalate with them, go intellectual, try to plead with them and be uber vulnerable. It's just not working. And the other key to this, and we're going to go into next week, is help them to focus on one desired behavior that they should change. It's not about a whole personality change, because I don't make a role play go over like 3 minutes, because people, you have enough information there. So focus on one thing. I would like to know that when I have an issue with something, that I can say it to you and you won't get mad all the time. I'd like for you to listen better. Or I'd like to know that you're not going to judge me when I make a mistake, and you'll be kind to me. And I want that to change in the next 30 days so that you're really different. So I'll talk about the metrics of that some, but don't give them, the goal is not to give that dysfunctional person 3 things to change. They're just not. It's too much. Give them one thing to change. Movement is everything, and a role play can change the movement. So you do it with them, and then they go out and they come back the next week and they go, oh, I did it, and it blew up, and you go, okay, what'd you learn? But over time, role plays really help things, all right? Have a good class, and I'm so glad you're in practice. It's the best.